In 1834, a man built a machine that would change American agriculture forever. It planted seeds faster, more evenly, and more efficiently than anything before it. The man who built it was enslaved. He couldn't legally hold a patent. He couldn't even legally own the machine he invented. So his enslaver put his own name on it instead. This wasn't a one-time injustice. It was a system. For over a century, black inventors in America built the tools, machines, and breakthroughs that powered entire industries, and again, the credit, the patents, and the fortunes went to someone else. Today we're uncovering the inventors. History tried to erase and finally giving them the credit that was stolen. To understand why so many black inventors vanished from history, you have to understand the legal reality they lived under. Before the Civil War, enslaved people in the United States were legally classified as property, and property cannot own property. That meant if an enslaved person invented something, U.S. patent law offered no path for them to claim it. The credit legally belonged to whoever enslaved them. Even after emancipation, black inventors faced a different but equally effective barrier. White business partners, employers, and manufacturers who took ideas, filed the paperwork under their own names, and left the actual inventor with nothing, no royalties, no recognition, sometimes not even a mention. This wasn't incidental. It was a pattern that repeated across industries: agriculture, industry, medicine, and everyday household technology for well over 100 years. Let's return to that seed planter from our opening. The man's name was Benjamin Montgomery, enslaved on the Mississippi plantation of Joseph Davis, brother of Confederate President Jefferson Davis. Montgomery designed a steam-powered plow that could till uneven, rocky soil far more efficiently than existing tools. Because he was enslaved, he could not file the patent himself. When Joseph Davis attempted to patent the invention on Montgomery's behalf, the U.S. Patent Office refused, not because Montgomery didn't deserve it, but because as an enslaved man, he wasn't recognized as a legal inventor at all. After emancipation, Montgomery went on to become a successful businessman in his own right, eventually purchasing the very plantation where he had once been enslaved. But the plow that made him a footnote in Davis family history should have made him a name in American engineering. When people think of the light bulb, they think of Thomas Edison. Almost no one thinks of Lewis Latimer. Latimer was a self-taught draftsman and engineer, the son of formerly enslaved parents. In 1881, he invented and patented an improved method for manufacturing carbon filaments, a process that made light bulbs longer-lasting, cheaper, and commercially viable at scale. Without it, Edison's light bulb would have burned out within a few short hours. Latimer went on to work directly for Edison's company, drafting patents and even serving as an expert witness in patent lawsuits, becoming one of the only black members of Edison's elite research team, known as the Edison Pioneers. But in the popular story of electric light, Latimer's name was almost entirely written out, reduced, if mentioned at all, to a footnote under Edison's. In 1892, Sarah Boone patented an improved ironing board, curved and narrow, designed specifically to make it easier to press sleeves in the fitted curves of women's clothing. It's astonishingly close to the ironing board design still used in households today. Boone was one of the first black women to receive a U.S. patent. Yet her name rarely appears in the story of one of the most common household objects in America, a design so ubiquitous that most people assume it simply always existed, with no inventor at all. Garrett Morgan is sometimes credited for the traffic signal, but even that story is often told incompletely, without the full picture of what he overcame. Morgan also invented an early gas mask, a safety hood that filtered breathable air from smoke and toxic fumes. In 1916, he personally used it to rescue trapped workers after an explosion in a tunnel beneath Lake Erie, saving several lives. Despite his heroism, when Morgan tried to market the device more broadly, he ran into a wall, many potential buyers. Upon learning the inventor was black, refused to purchase it, some companies reportedly asked him to hide his race during demonstrations, or sent a white associate to pose as the inventor instead. Elijah McCoy, son of formerly enslaved parents who had escaped to Canada, trained as a mechanical engineer overseas, yet upon returning to the U.S., he can only find work as a railroad fireman and oiler, roles far beneath his qualifications because of his race. But it was in that very job that McCoy noticed a problem. Trains had to stop constantly just to be manually lubricated. So he invented an automatic lubricating device that let trains run continuously without stopping, a genuine industrial breakthrough. McCoy would go on to hold over 50 patents in his lifetime. Some historians trace the popular phrase, "the real McCoy," meaning The genuine, authentic article directly back to buyers, specifically requesting his original lubricator over cheaper imitations. Look at these stories side by side, and a pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Legal systems that denied enslaved inventors the right to patent their own work. Business partners and employers who filed patents under their own names. Markets that rejected products the moment a buyer learned who had truly invented them. And textbooks, decades later, that simply left these names out, not necessarily through active conspiracy, but through the accumulated weight of who got remembered and who didn't. This is why forgotten is the right word, but it's also an incomplete one. These inventors weren't forgotten by accident. Their erasure was often the direct, foreseeable result of the systems they were forced to operate inside. Every time you flip on a light switch, iron a shirt, or wait at a traffic signal, you are touching the legacy of black inventors whose names most people will never learn in school. Their genius was real. Their contributions were foundational. What was stolen wasn't just a patent number or a paycheck. It was their place in the story we tell about who built the modern world. Today, we're putting them back in it. If you're new to this channel, this is exactly what we do here. We dig up the names, the stories, and the genius that got left out of the textbooks. So if that's the kind of history you want more of, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss the next one. Let me know in the comments, which one of these inventors surprised you the most? I read every single comment, and honestly, some of your suggestions have become entire episodes on this channel. Thank you for watching, and thank you for helping keep this history alive.